20-year-old Jasmine Crum is suing family members Yvonne Fultz and her daughters 17-year-old Julissa Granberry and 22-year-old Janika Williams for vandalizing her car.
Order. All rise.
Young's case number 489 on the calendar, the matter of Crum versus Granberry Fultz Williams. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Ms. Crum, somehow you are related to these three young ladies.
Yes, Yvonne Fultz is my aunt. And
who's the aunt? Yes?
And Julissa and Janika are my cousins.
Are they your children?
Yes.
For some reason, there was a falling out with your aunt and her children, and it is your claim that one or all of them were responsible for keying your car.
Yes.
When was your car keyed?
December 10th in the parking lot of Walmart.
Who had driven the car there?
Yvonne was driving her vehicle.
Who had driven the keyed car?
Oh, I drove my car.
What time did you get to the parking lot?
I'd say I was probably there around 9:30ish because I just got off of work. And
9:30
in the morning. a.m.
What kind of work do you do?
I do medical assistant.
Who was driving your car?
Your Honor, at that point in time, I was at work.
You were at work?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of car do you have?
2008 Kia Rio, black four-door.
And where do you work?
At that time, I was working at Target Distribution in Woodbury, Minnesota.
You still working there?
No, ma'am.
Who was your supervisor?
My supervisor there was, I forgot her name because I'm not working there anymore due to all this stuff that's going on now.
I'll wait. Remember who your supervisor was and the phone number.
I don't have that with me right now.
We'll wait. Go get it.
Excuse me.
How old are you?
22.
And you?
17.
Where do you work?
Don't work right now.
What do you do?
I'm looking for employment.
What were you doing on December 10th, 2010?
I was at my cousin's house.
Cousin's house where?
In St. Paul, Minnesota.
And where is this Walmart parking lot?
It's in Blaine, Minnesota.
How far is that from St. Paul?
Like 50 minutes.
How did you get to St. Paul?
My cousin.
Came to pick you up?
Yes.
How long did you stay there?
I was there for like 3 days.
From when to when?
Saturday, and
Date?
I don't know what date it was because December 10th never happened at Walmart, and the 10th would have been a Monday.
I just asked you what date. You were visiting
I'm not sure.
with your cousin. I didn't ask you. December 10th did in fact happen. It was a day.
Yeah, I went over there before December 10th, and it was that weekend, so it was a Saturday. What I'm saying is December 10th, I don't know the date, but it was days before that.
Who went with you?
My sister and my daughter. She was suspended that day, so that's also why she was with me.
She was suspended? How old is your daughter?
No, my sister.
Oh, your sister
was suspended. We were together because it was a weekday, and she was suspended from school, so we were together in St. Paul.
How old is your daughter?
She'll be 4 on April 21st.
Ms. Crum, can you tell me whether this was a trip that you had planned to make to Walmart?
Yes, indeed it was. I was going to go to Walmart to go shopping for Christmas shopping for my kids.
Yes.
And as I was on my way there, I saw Yvonne car following me.
Just a second. You have the phone number?
Yes, ma'am.
And the name of your supervisor?
Jill.
Just hand it to me. Thank you. So you were on your way to Walmart and you passed the defendant's car.
Yes.
Go ahead.
That's when I seen her make a really quick right turn behind me. So I kept going, and at the time I'm on the phone with my mom too, saying like, oh, I see your sister and she's following me. And she's like, just keep going to where you're going. And I drove to Walmart, which was probably about a couple blocks from there. And once I got there, I noticed they were still behind me. So then I hurry up and parked.
Look over there. Look at me.
So I hurry up and parked. And once I parked, they parked only about, I'd say, a few cars from me.
Who was in the car?
It was Yvonne, Janika, and Julissa.
Go ahead.
So anyhow, I parked, and they were still behind me, and my mom was on the phone, so I'm like, okay, they still here. Why are they here? So she said, just go into the Walmart. And before I get out of my car, I can hear them yelling, oh, I'm going to F this B up. If she don't get out the car, we'll break the windows and get her out. And if she just act funny or say something funny, we're going to beat her up.
So, Ms. Crum, there is no question in your mind that the defendants were at the Walmart parking lot on December 10th?
Correct.
that she was not at work at December 10th at 9:30 in the morning.
Correct.
And these two were not in, I don't know, visiting a cousin for a couple of days. They were with their mother.
Correct.
And I don't really have to get into what this family dispute was all about. I don't want to know. Okay. Suffice it to say, I assume that at one time you were a close family, and because of something you're not a close family anymore.
Right.
And nobody knows how to just not be a close family without being destructive.
Exactly, or violent.
I don't care. That's not my problem. I don't want to put this family back together. I don't care if you're not back together. All I care about is your keyed car.
Me too, exactly.
Now, did you go into the Walmart?
I did. I actually ran and afraid of being assaulted by them three. So I ran into Walmart.
And when you came out is when you noticed your car was keyed?
I noticed the damages on my car.
And you did not see any of them key your car?
No, but I'm pretty sure they did it because
Just
they were
a second.
saying...
It's very easy to determine. Can I see pictures of your car, please? Would you show me where it was keyed? Are you talking about these marks here? I don't know. It's very hard when you do these blow-up pictures to see what you're talking about.
Circle where the damage is, please.
Did you take those pictures with your phone?
I did.
I'd like to see it in your phone rather than blown up so that I can't see a thing.
And you can just move your finger towards the left and it should keep going.
Got it. Now I got it.
Okay.
Much easier to see. Thank you. Okay. So far, there is no proof other than your statement that they were, in fact, there. You didn't see them do it. But certainly, she says she was at work. They were in some other place. So if they were lying to me about her being at work on that day, that's easy, right? Yvonne, right? If you were lying to me about not being at work.
I have no reason to lie, ma'am.
Great. And this supervisor would know whether or not you were at work on December 10th at 9:30 in the morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You swore in an answer, I was at work, these two weren't with me, they were off someplace else because this one was suspended from school. You set a bad example, that's why she's suspended from school.
And later today,
them raggedy bees keyed it, and I knew she was directing it towards us.
The raggedy bees were the two of you?
Yeah, well, she accused her of
I just want to know, the raggedy people that she was talking about were the two of you?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jasmine Crum says family members Yvonne Fultz and her daughters Jaleesa Granberry and Janika Williams keyed her car.
Jill, this is Judge Judy Scheindlin. Good morning. I'm in the middle of trying a case, and there was a date in question as to whether one of your former employees was actually working. The date is December the 10th, 2010, in the morning. Thank you, Jill. Was she there at any time that week? Thank you very much, Jill. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye now. Not supposed to lie in front of your children.
That I don't do.
You're not supposed to lie in front of your children and make them co-conspirators in your lie. You understand?
Your Honor, I am
Do
not
you
a liar.
understand?
Maybe I have got a date wrong because I was working a lot of
listen, don't tell me I have the date wrong. You know exactly why you're coming to court. You know exactly the date. You swore in an answer. I was at work. These two weren't with me. They were off someplace else because this one was suspended from school. You set a bad example. That's why she's suspended from school.
No, Your Honor.
No? You don't think so? Well, you weren't working on December 10th. How much did it cost to fix your car?
I have the repair damages.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
I'm not speaking to you.
I haven't gotten it fixed yet.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all. Step out. Think twice about your mothering.
All these are excuses. You may step out.
I'm pretty sure that they showed you all their drama right here on camera. They're drama queens.
They're all young adults, 18 and older, who physically assaulted my daughter.
2 years ago, Yvonne cut me with a butcher knife here. She cut me here.
I've been up and down for months and months with all this harassment.
I think it's maybe jealousy on their side.
I have a son who's been shot by somebody on her entourage side of the family.
I filed a restraining order to keep them away from me and my children.
It was just crazy to me how they thought they was gonna come in there and lie.
I wonder why she hated on us. We never did anything to her.
I have assault charges, I have restraining orders and everything.
It's just been going on and on and on, and there's so much hatred and stuff in between the families.
With them people, there is no family.
I'm glad we came to Judge Judy today to settle that, and for once, somebody spoke up for us, and it looks right.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lewis versus Rowe. Step forward.
20-year-old Shanae Lewis is suing former friend, 20-year-old Brianna Rowe, for keying her car. Shanae claims Brianna admitted to the crime on Facebook.
Miss Lewis, it is your claim that the defendant keyed your car, caused damage in the amount of about $2,500. Miss Rowe says she didn't do it. How do you know each other?
I know Brianna because we were friends in high school. We hung out with the same people and went to the same parties, so we...
All right, so that's how you know each other.
Correct.
When was your car vandalized?
In the summer, around July 2010.
What do you mean around July?
July 2010. I don't know the exact date.
Did you report it to the police?
No, I did not.
Do you remember where your car was?
Yes, I do.
Where was your car?
It was parked at a mutual friend's parking spot in an apartment.
Where?
In Citrus Heights, California.
What's the address?
I do not know the name of the apartment.
I didn't ask you the name. What's the address?
I do not know the address.
What do you know?
I know that my car was parked in a covered parking spot that was allowed by the owner of the apartment.
Well, you can't tell me if it was allowed by the owner of the apartment because that's hearsay.
Okay, well, my car was parked in a covered parking spot.
And?
And it was keyed.
And?
And I have proof that Brianna Rowe did it.
I'd like to see your proof.
Well, we were at a mutual friend.
Listen to me.
Yes.
I want to see your proof.
Okay, I have documents of the pictures of my car.
Listen to me. I want to see the proof.
Okay, here's the proof of my car.
I don't have to see the keys car. You don't even know when it happened. I want to see proof that the defendant keyed your car.
Okay, well, she admitted on Facebook to doing it.
Let me see it.
This is the conversation right here, and it's highlighted right there.
Bert, you have younger children. Would it be possible for you to interpret this gibberish that is highlighted for me?
I'll give it a shot. Okay. Laugh out loud. I can care less for you. I keyed your car because my best friend didn't like you. But I'm too grown to go bad on you on Facebook. I'll leave being ignorant to you. I guess anyway, have a nice day.
It's almost like reading Sanskrit.
Yes. I don't dig text speak, but I know it.
Could you show that to the defendant?
Yes.
Take a look at that. Is that your thesis?
Oh, I have one of these too.
Well, I'm asking you, is that yours?
Mm-hmm. Did I write it?
Yeah?
Yeah.
So why did you tell her you keyed her car?
Because she had made a post that said, Granddad is getting my car detailed.
That said what?
She was getting her car detailed and fixed after them raggedy bees keyed it, and I knew she was directing it towards us because she accused us of keying her car.
The raggedy bees were the two of you?
Yeah, well, she accused her of
I just want to know, the raggedy people that she was talking about were the two of you. You knew that yourself without having been named. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Because she had already accused us of doing it.
So even though you weren't named, you decided to tell her that she was right, that you did in fact key her car. And if Officer Byrd read it right, you told her why you keyed her car.
I wrote it to make her mad.
Well, why would you think if she already knew that you and your raggedy friend were the ones that keyed her car, why did you think it would make her mad if you admitted it?
No, she thought Elina had keyed her car.
No. She talked about two raggedy people.
She didn't say how many.
No, she said after them.
Yes.
Well,
and then,
raggedy, and she uses the word with an S.
Mm-hmm. Plural.
That would be 2.
Yes,
Two.
but
So
it was 3 of us at the house.
3 of you. Well, how many of you keyed the car?
None of us.
None of them.
Well, then why would you admit to keying her car?
Because she accused us of it. After her car got keyed, she came in the house, threw papers at Elina, and told us we keyed her car.
There's something wrong with you. Honestly, there's something wrong with you. I mean, I can't get myself overly exercised about this case, quite frankly, Miss Lewis, because you don't even remember what date it happened. How many times has your car been keyed?
None.
Well, 1.
Well, once.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
This is your Facebook page?
Yes.
And this is you with this bathing suit?
Yes, if that is a bathing suit.
Well, I just want to know.
Yes, that is me on up there.
Is there any reason why you think that this is an appropriate picture just to send around the internet?
I did modeling, and that was a picture that I like, and I feel that I wanted to post it.
I need to take deep breaths. I need to take deep breaths.
It's only going to get worse.
Your Honor, me and the defendant had been friends before this happened.
The defendant and I had been friends also.
The defendant and I were friends before this happened. And the reason why I believe the motive that they had...
I don't care what their motive was. She admitted it. It's irrelevant to me what her motive was.
Okay.
I assume that you had some sort of a falling out. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Now I'll see the pictures of your car.
Okay.
When did you take these pictures of your car?
I took them when it happened, and then I took some more before I came.
And since you don't know exactly when this happened, sometime last summer, I assume you've been driving around with your car exactly the way it is?
Yes.
Do you have an estimate to have it fixed?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see. No, they're not repairing any dents. She didn't dent the car. She keyed it.
There's dent marks and scratch marks on it.
Very good.
That.
Yeah, okay. Could you explain to me why you filed this lawsuit for $2,500 and the estimate that you have was $15,000?
Because I am suing for, I believe that, for the scratches and for punitive damages.
For punitive damages for what?
Because every time that I have to drive around my car and have the word written on it, that's embarrassing for me to have to ride around and be disrespected like that. I have a newborn son, and I don't want that portrayed for me. I'm not.
How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
What do you have a newborn son for? I thought you went to school.
I do go to school.
Who takes care of your newborn son?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother?
Yes.
Great. Yeah, spend $500 to get your car painted. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all.
All these are excused. You may step out.
I did not key her car, but she's a broke ex-stripper that need a couple of dollars, so she's going to accuse the only person she can, which is me.
She talked way too much mad. She always has something to say, and she's a hypocrite.
Jealousy. They don't have cars, so they feel like they need to scratch other people's car to feel better about themselves.
She gonna tell me after I found out I was pregnant, I need to get an abortion. But now she got a newborn baby.
I drive a nice car. They want to write, so maybe they feel like they're...
I told her I did it because I knew it would make her upset. I knew it would make her mad. I didn't know it would bring me to Judge Judy.
She think we did it because we didn't like her, but we was friends when her car got keyed.
It affected our friendship because she was a close friend of mine.
It went out the window.
And I do love her, even after all this, but it is what it is.
Don't trust females with no cars.
Next case. Parties on Edwards versus Lucid. Step forward, please.
Pamela Edwards is suing her daughter's ex-fiancé over a credit card, but it's the stripper incident that really makes her blood boil.
Mrs. Edwards, you say that your daughter, whose name is Tempo, was living with the defendant for about 4.5 years.
That's
is that
correct.
right?
Engaged to be married. Yes.
And during that time, you gave your daughter, who you say is disabled, a credit card.
Yes.
For her own use for emergencies.
Yes.
And that the defendant used it at times for his own purposes, and in addition, you made him some loans.
Correct.
And the loans and the credit cards came to $1,884.
Correct.
And then Mr. Lucid found someone new.
Found someone new. Yes.
Or a variety of people new.
No, he was working at a strip club in the Valley, came home after 4.5 years, told my daughter he didn't love her anymore and was leaving, and he was engaged to a stripper at the club, 35-year-old woman who's a mother of 3.
So he left your daughter?
Vegas. He dumped her. Left her with everything.
Your Tempo, what's the nature of your disability, Tempo?
I'm a transplant patient, kidney transplant patient, and it failed, so I'm on dialysis right now.
Were you working during this 4.5 years?
I only can work part-time here and there because I am on disability. My doctor put me on as soon as my kidney failed because hemodialysis takes up a lot of the days, and I can't accept full-time jobs.
So who supported your household when you were living with Mr. Lucid?
Mr. Lucid did.
So he paid all the bills?
He paid most of them. I also had an income that did come in of $600, and that paid whatever.
$600
a month.
Were there any purchases that you made on Mrs. Edwards' credit card that was strictly for your use, like clothes and things like that?
There were clothes that that her daughter had purchased for me for work.
Well.
And for
clothes that
when
you
we
needed.
were running out, yeah,
Clothes that you needed.
Clothes that I needed when we were out of. We used it for the gas so that I get her to and from. I was pretty much her sole transportation.
Let's talk about your clothes, because your clothes she can't wear. Gas you share. I mean, if you're in the
Your
same
Honor,
car.
I have the receipts with all the clothes he bought that last time highlighted.
Okay.
He said he needed a whole new wardrobe.
Show them to him.
Because when he
knows
became
what
at this
they are.
new job, he had to become manager, and to become manager, he needed pants, shirts,
Pants,
and ties.
shoes, ties, the best. Not the worst, the best.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Well, tell me about what you think her vindictiveness has to do with this lawsuit.
The words were to me that basically I should have left with just the clothes on my back, and everything that we'd put together for 4.5
Exactly how
years
he came into the
should
relationship.
have gone to her.
I would have shredded that new wardrobe and thrown it out in the street.
When we got together and I met him, all he had was a bed and clothes. That was
That's it.
Pamela Edwards is suing her daughter's ex-fiancé over a credit card, but it's the stripper incident that really makes her blood boil.
Listen, Mr. Edwards, just look at the clothes.
Okay.
They're all your clothes. You don't expect Miss Edwards to buy you clothes, right?
No.
Okay, so you owe her that money. Did you pay her back for that, for the clothes?
No, at that particular moment I had not.
Well, let's talk
I
about
had
this
not.
moment.
At this moment, no.
Okay, so you owe her for the clothes. What's the total bill for the clothes?
$833.
Now, there was also a loan that you made to him.
Correct.
You say, a loan of $600?
It's for a bowling contract.
Okay. Tell me about that.
I have the contract here if you'd like to view it.
Did you borrow the money, Mr. Lucid?
In correction, her and I both borrowed the money. I was willing to.
Who was bowling?
I was.
And
Mr.
his
Lucid,
signature.
Put it down. I only have to look at that if he says that he
Okay,
doesn't.
but only his signature, not hers.
He's not. Your daughter isn't a bowler.
Right.
He's a bowler, and she's not wearing his suits. So these things are just for him. Right?
Correct.
All right, so that's $600. How much of that did you pay back?
That wasn't under my direct control. All I did was she controlled the money. I gave
paid
her
one
my
payment of $50.
I sent my checks and signed my checks, and she put them in her bank account.
All right. The question is, Mr. Lucid, you seem to say in your answer that the reason that Miss Edwards is doing this is because she's being vindictive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me about what you think her vindictiveness has to do with this lawsuit.
The words were to me that basically I should have left with just the clothes on my back, and everything that we'd put together for 4.5
Exactly how he
years
came into the
should
relationship.
have gone to her.
I would have shredded that new wardrobe and thrown it out in the street.
When we got together and I met him, all he had was a bed and clothes. That was
That's it.
And we split the bed together until I brought
And
my
when he
bed
left,
out.
he took the couch, the TV, the VCR, the videos, the fan, the kitchen appliances, the
Sports
cards,
memorabilia.
both their names, her ring, her diamond engagement ring.
No, I
he
didn't
took it
take
all.
the diamond
You
engagement
took.
ring.
I threw it
You
at
took the
you,
golden
but you
diamond
took it.
But I didn't buy it. But I didn't buy it for her.
Tempo.
As she still has
Sounds to me
a
as if you could have
$1,500.
still had at least the ring.
She still has one. She still has one.
She's ready to rule. Stay tuned.
Miss Edwards, why don't you help your daughter get over it instead of making her feel more insecure about her ability to have a relationship?
I think that teach her how these guys screw her.
You don't have to
And I'd
teach
like
her. Tempo
to sue
sounds.
him for all the money that he still owes her. This is just my debt.
Miss Edwards, the only way to start fresh and to start getting over a bad relationship, whether it be a marriage or an engagement or just a relationship, is to put a period.
This will put a period between he and I.
It should hopefully put a period between this side and that side.
Well, more bills are coming in, Your Honor, every week.
Miss
and he says he's
Edwards,
not paying
listen to
anything.
me. You love your daughter?
Yes, I do. Very
Get over it. I'm serious with you. Every time you tell her about a new bill or tell her about something else,
it's sort of.
Listen to me. It scrapes the wound. She clearly is someone who was fragile medically.
Correct.
You don't want to exacerbate that. He turned out to be not the Prince Charming that she wanted.
Con artist.
All right. Well, no, I don't think
Far from
so.
it.
I don't think so. I think that you lived with somebody for 4.5 years.
Well,
he cared for her.
He cared for me for a couple of years. I saw it dwindling down. I saw it.
That sometimes happens. Don't take that away from your daughter. Don't make her feel as if he used her. That's not true. That'll only make her feel badly.
Well, we both agree.
Well, listen. Stop talking and listen. Don't you hear what I'm saying to you? If you diminish that sense that she has, that for a period of their relationship, he loved her as much as she loved him, that will make her feel badly. Why would you want to make your own child feel badly? He's going to pay you this money that he owes you. But what you have to do with your daughter is say, put a period, get on with your life. And you're not going to be able to do that for her as a good mother if you keep showing her the bills that you're getting every month for $100 or $200 or whatever it is. It's just going to make it worse.
But it is the other way around. She gets them and comes to me and says, Mom, now what am I going to do? I've got a new bill.
Tempo. Yeah. Happens. It happens.
I know.
Yeah. All right, so you're a lovely-looking, sweet person. I can tell that just from a couple of minutes that we've been talking together. You'll find somebody else. I mean, this lady that he found, that he replaced you with, I'm not so sure whether that's going to turn out to be a whole wonderful, leave it to beaver relationship. I'm not 100% sure of that. Meanwhile, the court's ready to rule. Sir, you owe the plaintiff, let me do my quick calculations, for the items that you use, sir, for your own personal use, that I believe you owe to the plaintiff, I'm awarding her $1,400, and that includes your bowling fee from your bowling league and the clothes that were purchased that you wear on your back, whether to work or to play. Tempo. Find yourself a nice guy, right? Don't let your mother drive you crazy. She's hurt. She's hurt because she's hurt because you're hurt.
She's good at testing him. She told me she didn't like him in the beginning. I should have listened to her.
Well, listen. My mother didn't like my first husband either. Have a good day.
Party's not excused. Step out, please.
Judge Judy will return in a moment.
Please.
The debate. Is the Jenny Jones Show to blame for the death of one of her guests, Scott Amador? 3 days after a Jenny Jones taping, Jonathan Schmitz shot and killed Amador, a man who revealed a secret love for him. The two sides. The Amador family lawyer, Jeffrey Feiger, says yes, and they should pay. Talk show host Morton Downey Jr. speaks out for the producers.
Order, all rise.
Yeah, this is case number 4 on the calendar in the matter of Feiger versus Downey.
Bart.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Jonathan Schmitz murdered Scott Amador after an appearance on the Jenny Jones Show. Scott's parents say that the ambush by the show resulted in the death of their son and are suing both the Jenny Jones program, its producers, its distributors, and the star of the show, Jenny Jones. Schmitz has been convicted of that murder. The subject of today's debate is whether the Jenny Jones program must accept responsibility for setting in motion a course of events that resulted in that tragedy. Our participants in this debate today are Jeffrey Feiger. Did I pronounce that correctly, sir?
You did, Your Honor.
And he represents the parents of the deceased.
That's correct.
On the other side of this debate is Morton Downey Jr., a familiar face, who himself hosted a talk show program, who says that the American public, according to your statement, sir, that I have received and read, the American public wants to see these talk programs, that as long as the American public wants to see it, producers will continue to produce them. And furthermore, he says that the producers of that program are innocent, that the segment producers are innocent, but that Jenny Jones, who is the star of that program and should accept responsibility for the content of the program, must accept responsibility along with the defendant. So far, is that correct?
You're correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So I have a few questions, because what we're talking about here today is responsibility. I mean, that's the bottom line. Let's talk
legal responsibility.
Well, we're
probably moral responsibility too, but in this setting, obviously, it's whether the show and the defendants can be held legally responsible.
Your Honor would have to decide which is more important, moral responsibility or legal responsibility.
Well, let's talk about both, but let's start with your side, sir.
Sure.
Because I have certain questions. I think that the people who are watching this debate today should first have some idea of how a talk show is produced. And I don't think that they do.
No, they don't. And
so,
if that's
Mr. Downey, would you explain to me and to the people who are watching this debate how a talk show is produced? What's the hierarchy?
On my shows, I used to have what we call the red chairs. There were 5 red chairs out in the lobby, and I'd say, let's go to the red chairs. Once a week, we'd do that. I did 5 shows a week. They would present me with 10 ideas, 10 shows.
The segment producers.
The segment producers would present me with 10 shows. I would say, great, I like all those shows, or I don't like all those shows. Here's the ones I like most of all.
In this case also, the segment producers, or this show in particular, at the end of, for instance, a Jenny Jones show, would advertise for potential guests for the segment. So in this particular case, there was an advertisement at the end of one of her other shows saying, does anybody know of anyone, or do you have a secret crush on someone else? If you do, call us.
Okay. So that's how it's done generally. Now let's talk about the specifics of responsibility. And we're going to get to the specifics of responsibility of the program in a minute. I want to talk about the parents of Scott Amador.
The whole family. The estate, Your Honor, is the
and the
plaintiff.
family of Scott Amador. How old was Scott when he appeared on the Jenny Jones program?
I believe 28, Your Honor.
28?
Correct.
From the material I read, he did have a prior arrest for an assault. It may not have resulted in anything, but he did sort of drift in and out of jobs. My sense from reading the material was that he was a soft, sweet young person, young man, but had some troubles. That be a fair statement from what you know?
No, because that would be a mischaracterization. If you met Scott Amador, you would say this is a sweet, soft young man. No, if you wanted to find everything wrong...
Had you met him, sir?
No, I'd never met him, but I've met his family. And my impression of even meeting them, and I'm sure some of them have drifted in and out of jobs. I did at age 28. I hadn't even graduated from law school yet, Your Honor. So to describe me as a troubled young man because I drifted in and out of jobs, although I'd never been arrested for an assault, but I'm sure that I don't believe there was a conviction, is not an accurate description of a troubled young man.
What I'm suggesting to you, sir, is this was a young man who had not yet found his legs in life. Would that be a fair statement?
That's a fair statement.
And when I talk about responsibility, I want to start with the responsibility of Scott Amador's parents. I have children. I have children who are 28 years old, or were they a little bit older now. I would do anything in my power to discourage one of my children to appear on this kind of program, understanding that he may be humiliated, there may be a problem, that you have no control over what happens if these are intelligent people once you get on a talk show program.
They never had seen the Jenny Jones show.
Now, okay, so if they had never seen the Jenny Jones program, my question is, why?
Because they didn't turn on a TV, and they're not required as part and parcel of citizenship, Your Honor, to watch the Jenny Jones show.
The judge will return in a moment.
Had this show not done what it did, the murder wouldn't have happened, Scott Amador would still be alive, and Jonathan Schmitz would